a hallway can tell on you. On February 12, 2024, in a drafty third-floor walk-up on Buffalo's east side, a tenant found a rent adjustment she wasn't meant to question. Except the adjustment didn't match the building, the maintenance, or the city code. And when she refused to argue, when she answered it with silence, the real story surfaced. Stay with me till the end, because what comes next puts truth on trial. The third-floor corridor of 187 Sycamore Street hummed like it always did in winter. Radiator hiss, someone's TV too loud through plaster, salt stains on the floor. Maya Coleman, 33, black, braided bun, teal blouse under a black parka, paused at her door. On the doormat, a white envelope, office stiff, stamped in red, rent adjustment notice. She didn't open it. Instead, she slipped it into her bag, unlocked the apartment, and let the cold follow her in. Inside, 600 square feet of almost warm, almost quiet, almost repaired. The back window still whistled, the kitchen ceiling still had a faint water ring from December. Her daughter's room door was closed. Zoe, 9, asleep before school. Maya placed the envelope on the counter, beside the coffee maker and an overdue Con Edison bill. She whispered, "Not this month," to no one. Then she checked the thermostat, 63 degrees Fahrenheit. Too low for what she was paying now, let alone a hike. She finally opened the envelope. Effective March 1, 2024, monthly rent will increase to $1,120. From $910. A 23% jump. No improvements. No prior formal notice except this 17-day lead. At the bottom, per building owner authorization. No name. No signature. No apartment by apartment breakdown. Just an office stamp, Maple Ridge Holdings, LLC, the shell company the tenants only ever heard about, never met. Maya worked across the border 3 days a week, remote from Buffalo, claims intake for a Toronto-based nonprofit called Neighbor Reach Housing Justice, Canadian spelling on all the emails. Irony, she helped low-income tenants in Ontario push back on sudden hikes, negligence, and predatory notices. She knew numbers. She knew timelines. She knew New York didn't just let landlords spike rent like that without justification, especially in older, code-sensitive buildings. She opened her laptop. She pulled up the Buffalo City Housing Portal, then the County Tax Assessor, then the NYS Tenant Rights Guide. The building wasn't listed as rent-stabilized, but it had open violations, heat complaints, hallway lighting, stairwell railing. Several tenants had called 311 in January. Raising rent while violations remained open? Even if legal, it was morally dirty. She drafted an email to management. Then she stopped. Deleted it. What if arguing was exactly what they wanted, something they could frame as disruptive tenant? She remembered December's interaction. The on-site manager, Tom Keeley, white, late 40s, Bill's cap, work boots, had said, "We're trying to get better tenants in here, Maya. People who don't nickel and dime on issues." She'd answered calmly then. This time she chose something else. A tactic she'd heard from an elder tenant advocate in Toronto. When they bait you with paper, answer with silence, but document everything. Maya pulled a spiral notebook from the drawer and wrote. February 12, 2024, rent increase notice, 23%. No justification. No signature. Heat still 63 degrees Fahrenheit. In the hallway the next morning, she heard neighbors talk. "Mrs. Alvarez from 3B, they raised it? I got 1,050. My daughter didn't. Why different? Mr. Hart from 2D, mine said March 15th. Why your March 1st? It wasn't uniform." That was the tell. Someone at Maple Ridge was testing what each tenant would tolerate. That's not cost of maintenance. That's pressure-based rent. She kept walking, silent, holding her daughter's hand. At school drop-off, Zoe said, "Mom, is the house okay?" Maya smiled. "We're okay." Zoe, you were up late talking to yourself. I was practicing not talking, Maya said, and laughed softly, but the line was true. Silence was going to be labor. She'd have to not vent to the landlord, not argue in the lobby, and not make it easy for them to flag her. Instead, paper trail, timestamps, documented heat levels, photos of peeling stair paint. Silence in public, evidence in private. She called one person Amina Rahal, 36, Algerian-Canadian, housing advocate in Toronto, colleague/friend. Amin, you ever seen a 23% spike same building, different amounts? Amina, that's targeting. That's income profiling. Are you US or Canadian side on this? US. Good. Document. Stay quiet with management. We can run it through our cross-border learning group, they love American mess. Can I list you as outside advocate? Absolutely. But if they don't hear you, they can't twist you. That afternoon, in the lobby, a clipboard appeared on the mail table, updated lease acknowledgement, signed below TO accept. 10 blank lines. No explanatory sheet. No copy for tenants. Just, signed by February 16th. 4 days. And at the bottom, in smaller print, management reserves right to adjust unit pricing at any time. A clause that, if signed, could retro-justify the 23% hike. Maya looked at it. Then she didn't sign. Silence, however, is loud to the people expecting submission. At 2:17 p.m., her phone rang. Unknown number. This is Pam from Maple Ridge Holdings. We've noticed you received the adjustment letter. We didn't see your acknowledgement yet. Maya, yes, I received it. Pam, we need signatures quickly so accounting doesn't flag the building. Maya, please send the full justification, the maintenance log for my unit, and the city inspection status for this address. Pam, quiet. We don't usually provide that. Maya, put it in writing. Email is fine. Then she went quiet. Pam filled the silence with promises. Pam emailed. It was thin. Dear Ms. Coleman. The increase is due to general operating costs and market alignment. Please sign attached acknowledgement. No logs. No inspection status. No city code references. Just a PDF. Maya printed it. Wrote across the top in pen, insufficient disclosure, requesting itemized basis. Took a photo. Saved to February folder. Silence outward. Evidence inward. On February 14th, the building heat dipped to 59 degrees Fahrenheit. Her thermostat photo proved it. New York requires adequate heat in winter, tenants had a right to complain. Instead of calling management, Maya filed 311 online. Then she filed a parallel email to herself, Amina, and a pro bono tenant lawyer listserv in Toronto, timestamped. Subject, Buffalo, rent increase while essential services underdelivered. She didn't accuse. She showed. Silence in tone, loud in documentation. By February 16th, half the tenants had signed the lobby sheet. Working parents. Older residents. People who didn't want problems. Mrs. Alvarez whispered, Mija, they said we sign or they don't fix heat. Maya, they can't do that. That's retaliation. Alvarez, but if they do? Maya felt it, the moral weight of being the one who knew better. Knowledge isolates. Her silence tactic suddenly felt selfish. She added a new line to her notebook. February 16th, neighbors signing under implied threat. Documenting coercion. At 6:43 p.m., Amina messaged. Pulled public records. Maple Ridge filed a capital improvement request in January, but it was rejected, missing contractor detail. If they didn't get approval, they can't truthfully claim unit-level cost pass-through yet. Ask them for the contractor line item. If it's missing, they're bluffing. There it was, the missing line. The line that vanished. The thing thumbnail text would love. Maya smiled. Still silent toward the landlord. Next day, Tom the on-site manager knocked. Heavy, annoyed knocks. Morning, Maya. Need you to sign that sheet. She opened the door only halfway. I've requested justification in writing. Tom, come on, don't make it hard. Everyone else is signing. Then you should have no problem providing the logs. He stared. If you don't sign, we can reevaluate your tenancy at term. Retaliatory language. She let the silence hang. Then, please put that in writing. Door closed. Tom did not put it in writing. Instead, on February 18 a late payment warning appeared on her door even though March hadn't arrived and February was fully paid. That's classic paper intimidation. She photographed it. Emailed it to Amina and to a Buffalo Tenant Facebook group admin labeled, "Pretext letter before dispute." Paper was their weapon. She was turning it into evidence. To strengthen the case, Amina looped in Daryl DJ Holcomb, 41, black, Buffalo-based paralegal who freelanced on housing cases. DJ said over Zoom, "Maple Ridge is a holding LLC for Highmark Urban Properties. They buy distressed buildings, raise rents fast, then sell. Their playbook is speed. If you slow them, you win. Your silence slows them. What's my risk? They'll try non-renew due to business needs. But if we show retaliation or price discrimination, the city'll listen, especially if 311 has heat complaints. 311 does. Good. Then we build moral evidence, not just legal." She liked that phrase. DJ sent her a PDF, Highmark Urban Properties, Audit Note, July 2022. Inside, a note from a previous building's tenant committee. Same pattern, sudden rent hikes, partial notices, rushed signatures, neglect of heat. But buried in the audit, a quote from a former employee. "We issue and sign notices first to see who pushes back. If they don't call, we assume higher bracket capacity." That was it. That was the strategy. Silence to them meant compliance. But Maya's silence was investigative, not compliant. Armed with that, Maya wrote finally, but not to the landlord. She wrote to Buffalo Housing and Community Development NYS Division of Housing and Community Renewal, Informal Inquiry, Local Council Member's Office. Her own email as archive. Subject, Pattern of disproportionate rent increases at 187 Sycamore amid unresolved violations. She attached photos, heat logs, copies of coercive clipboard. She CC'd Amina in Toronto for training purposes. That cross-border CC would make the landlord mad. American landlords hate international eyes. That was the point. 2 days later, Tom's tone changed. He caught her in the hallway. "You went to the city?" "I asked for oversight. You made us look bad. You look bad." He lowered his voice. "We could have worked this out. We still can. Provide the itemized basis." He didn't have it. He never had it. Because the capital improvement was rejected. She knew. He didn't know she knew yet. Now management switched tactics, they flooded her inbox. Reminder, sign updated lease. Reminder, sign updated lease to avoid disruption. Final reminder. She responded once, publicly, CCing City and DJ. Per NYS guidance, tenant requests itemized basis for increase in confirmation building is not under unresolved violation at time of increase. Pending that, tenant will continue paying current lawful rent of $910 on time. That single email froze their next move. Because now authorities were watching. But pressure has ripples. On March 1st, she paid $910 through the portal. The system accepted it. Then, 90 minutes later, an automated underpaid notice arrived. Designed to scare. She screenshotted timestamp, portal accepted, system flagged, human intervened. You cannot accuse someone of underpaying after accepting payment, at least not cleanly. She annotated. March 1st, auto accept plus retroactive flag. Potential bad faith. To keep her morale up, Amina sent voice notes. Silence is not passive. It's precision. You are forcing them to write the lie. Once they write the lie, we can show it. And then, record your hallway. Date stamp it. If they post notices, capture before and after. So Maya began a quiet documentary, phone in hand, slow pans of stairwell, thermostat, lobby, and mailbox. Every day, one clip. Evidence, not outrage. March 4th, cold, wet, Buffalo gray. A city housing inspector showed up unannounced. Clipboard, neon vest, ID badge. Got a 311 on low heat, he said loud enough for Mrs. Alvarez to hear. Tom appeared, flustered. We've addressed it. Inspector, thermostat in Unit 3C? Maya let him in. 61 degrees Fahrenheit. Inspector wrote it down. You can't raise rent while you can't keep heat, man, he told Tom, not even whispering. There it was. An authority said it out loud. Silence had pulled the truth into daylight. Within 48 hours, the city portal showed 187 Sycamore, heating, non-compliant, owner notified. Maya printed it. Highlighted it. Sent to Maple Ridge. Given non-compliance, rent increase lacks moral and practical basis. Tenant will continue at $910 until building meets standards. This time, she got an answer from someone new, Regional Property Director, NE, a woman named Karen Lowell. Karen, we believe the increase is justified regardless of temporary service interruptions. Perfect. That sentence would not age well in front of a hearing officer. On March 10th, Maya found a notice to cure taped to her door. Tenant has failed to cooperate with management requests to update lease. Cure within 10 days or face termination of tenancy. She laughed. Cooperate meant sign the clause that lets us raise any time. She photographed it, then photographed her original February 12th letter, then the non-compliance status, stitched them into a single PDF, and titled it Sequence of Retaliatory Notices Against Tenant Requesting Itemization. Thing about bullies, they overreach. Mrs. Alvarez knocked secretly. I got a cure notice too for trash outside door. I never leave trash. Mr. Hart, I got 1-4 noise and I live alone. Pattern. Maya invited them in. She showed them her evidence folder. We can send as a group. You don't have to speak. I'll file with your names. Alvarez, I'm scared. Maya, then I'll file with initials. Silence didn't mean isolation. It meant controlled voice. DJ filed an official complaint citing retaliatory notices after code complaint non-itemized rent increase uneven application of increase across tenants coercive lobby sign-in lacking tenant copies. He attached Maya's PDF. He copied Buffalo News housing reporter who occasionally covered quiet landlord power. This was riskier. But the reporter replied. Following. If city compels reversal, I'd like comment. Now there was media oxygen. Maple Ridge blinked. They sent a clarification. Some tenants may have received notices in error. We are reviewing unit-specific situations. Translation, we thought you were all isolated. You weren't. But they didn't apologize. They didn't withdraw. They tried to blur. Maya wrote in notebook. March 14th, first crack in their certainty. Maintain silence. Let documents speak. Silence had done something else, it had made Maya look measured. She hadn't yelled in the lobby. She hadn't called Tom names. She had asked for itemized basis, tied to city non-compliance. That made her the reasonable party. When the city housing officer called to follow up, he said, "Between us, your approach made it hard for them to paint you as difficult." "That's the point," she said. "They expect us to be loud." I wanted to be accurate. On March 18, an email came from Karen Lowell. After review, Maple Ridge Holdings will defer the rent adjustment for Units 3C, 3B, and 2D until May 1, 2024, pending completion of facility improvements. Deferred, not cancelled. But it was a public acknowledgement, rent should track condition. Maya forwarded to tenants, first step. We hold. Amina messaged, "You gotta defer?" That's admission. Ask for full withdrawal plus written anti-retaliation guarantee plus clear maintenance timeline. So Maya did. She wrote, "Given documented retaliation and public non-compliance, tenant requests full cancellation of March increase and removal of all cure notices issued February 18 to March 10." She CC'd the reporter again. Now Maple Ridge had to decide, fight a well-documented, modest tenant, or fold. Meanwhile, in the building, something changed. Tenants started not signing things. The clipboard stayed mostly blank when Tom tried again. Mrs. Alvarez said, "We'll wait for the paper with itemized." Mr. Hart said, "We'll pay old rent until heat's steady." Silence had become contagious. Not apathy, discipline, non-cooperation. On March 22, the Buffalo News housing reporter emailed. City confirms, 187 Sycamore under active heat enforcement when management issued increases. That's contrary to city's stated housing priorities. Do you want to go on record? Maya thought of Zoe. Of rent. Of being labeled. Then she said, "Yes, but name me as MC, tenant advocate in building." She gave them the line. "I just wanted the rent to match the reality. You can't charge for what you didn't fix." That would become the pull quote. Maple Ridge's lawyer finally appeared. Formal letterhead, April 1 date. Rent increase withdrawn for affected units. All cure notices from February-March voided. Management will schedule and complete heating system repairs by April 30, 2024. They added a face-saving line, "We value our residents and regret any confusion." Confusion? No. They were caught. Maya filed the letter. Another folder, outcome, April 1. Tom was colder in the halls. No greetings. No small talk. But he fixed the stairwell light. He cleared the back entrance. Maintenance came to check radiators. Retaliation had shifted into begrudging compliance. Mrs. Alvarez hugged Maya. "You saved us $140, Mija." Maya, "We saved us." Alvarez, "No. Your quiet made noise." That night, Zoe ate macaroni while drawing. "Mom, did they make you pay more?" "No." "Did you shout?" "No." "Then how?" "I made them write it down." And when people have to write things down, sometimes they tell on themselves. Zoe nodded, as if that was a superpower. A week later, Amina used the story anonymized in a Toronto training, The Power of Strategic Silence in Housing Disputes. Slide showed, initial unjustified notice, tenant asks for itemization, landlord retaliates on paper, tenant documents, city intervenes, landlord withdraws. She called it moral evidence pathway, tenant led. Cross-border, Maya's method became curriculum. Other Buffalo tenants from other Maple Ridge buildings reached out through the reporter. How did you get them to back off? She sent a template. Ask for itemized basis, document violations, pay current lawful rent, CC oversight, stay off emotional phone calls, let them write first. She added, silence is not weakness. It's a file. Reflecting in her notebook, Maya wrote, they counted on us needing them. But they needed something from us, too, our signature, our quiet acceptance. When we kept the acceptance but not the signature, they lost leverage. That was the paradox she'd lived. Her rent had come with silence, but the silence was hers, not theirs. The Buffalo news story dropped online April 9th. Buffalo tenants say rent hikes came while heat's still failing. It quoted city officials, mentioned the holding company, and cited MC. The comments were the usual mix, some accusing tenants of wanting free stuff, others praising the documentation. But the article did one thing: it put Maple Ridge on record. Online record plus city record equals hard to repeat pattern quietly. DJ emailed, this could be leveraged for a small policy note. City Council's been flirting with an essential services first ordinance, no rent increases while core services are in violation. Amina, send them our Canadian version. We call it condition precedes escalation. Cross-border, the idea was simple: you don't get to profit from what you didn't provide. Spring warmed Buffalo. The thermostat crept to 68, then 70. Not because weather changed, because the building did. Maya walked the hallway, no phone this time. Just walked. The light over the stairs stayed on. The smell of mold near the back door was gone. The place still wasn't luxury, but it was honest now. That was all she'd asked. At work, her supervisor in Toronto pinged. Heard you were the Buffalo tenant. Nice work. Want to record a 10-minute case study? She hesitated. Make it about tenants, not me. Supervisor, it is about tenants. You just remembered to slow the story down. Slow burn justice. That was her lane. On a Saturday, Zoe filmed her mom with a tablet. Tell the story like YouTube, she said. Maya, okay, once upon a time, a landlord tried to charge more for a house that was cold. And the mom said, show me the reasons. And the landlord couldn't. So the mom and the neighbors kept paying the right amount, and the city said, yeah, make it warm first. The end. Zoe, that's not boring. Maya, just as stories shouldn't be. Maple Ridge didn't send Christmas cards. But in late April they sent one more email. Dear residents, we will be adopting a new notice format, with tenant copies provided and detailed maintenance schedules attached. That was institutional change, small, localized, but real. Because one tenant refused to let them weaponize her voice. In her notebook, final entry for the case. Evidence is not just what is said. It is also what is forced to be written. Silence can do the forcing. She underlined it twice. She'd use it again. Because this wouldn't be her last landlord, or Buffalo's last winter. Narrator voice, if we were cutting this as investigative docu. When rent came with silence, it looked like surrender. But it was strategy. In a building where tenants were expected to sign, smile, and absorb, one woman made the company write down what it was actually doing. And once written, it couldn't hide. Some injustices crumble not because we shout, but because we won't speak on their terms. May 1st, 2024. No rent spike. Heat stable. Notices standardized. Tenants still there. In the quiet of her kitchen, coffee steaming, Maya looked at the original February 12th envelope. She slid it into a folder labeled 1. Then she closed the cabinet. This story is inspired by true events. Certain details have been changed to protect privacy and respect. If you believe stories like this deserve to be heard, subscribe to this channel and never miss the next case where truth prevails.